Baker. Ella sabe que con quien está hablando tú me conoces más. No juegues, no. Ella sabe que yo no estoy jugando, quiero algo más, no solo sexo. ¿Cómo que no fue? Si yo recuerdo que fue ayer. Un par de tragos después pa'l cuarto, lo hicimos hasta el amanecer. ¿Cómo que no fue? Sé que te acuerdas lo que te dije.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of 5 F's to Love. Tonight, we're going to bring you into our living room, a private space where Black women can have a real conversation. I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but as a Black woman, we've been hearing a lot about who we are to Black men, our value, whether or not we're appreciated, respected, understood, or loved. But it's not just that conversation. It's a conversation about choices. Why we feel that maybe perhaps, or they've completely stated why they choose to go with other races first before deciding to date a Black woman. So again, this is just us inviting you into our living room. So grab a glass of wine and enjoy a private insight into what it is to be a Black woman, because we're going to ask the question, dear Black man, what's stopping you from loving me and looking for love in other races? So let me introduce my guest, and I'm going to tell you, they are a rock star. All of these women are absolutely amazing. So we're going to start with Precious. Precious, welcome aboard. How are you?
Happy to be here.
So why don't you tell people who you are?
Hi, everybody. I'm Precious Williams, and I'm a full-figure diva and a plus-size fashionista who took the business world by storm. Proud founder and CEO of Perfect Pitches by Precious, and I am the Killerpitchmaster. So happy to be here with you all tonight. And yes, I'm as single as a dollar bill, and I'm ready to get into this. So I'm a serial entrepreneur, corporate trainer, international professional speaker, best-selling author, and yes, full-figure diva. Let's get it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And next we have Chyia. Chyia is actually our baby, and she's like the youngest of the crew and a newlywed. So introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Chyia Perkins, and yes, I am a newlywed, but that is just one of the things that newly defines me. I am corporate by day, and by all day, I am a relationship coach. My handler, My Shy Life, is focused on people living their best life and the life that they want to live, peaceful and happy. And I just love living life to the fullest, and I want to help people do the same. So that's what I do.
I love it. And next we're going to have Roz. Roz, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank you for having me.
And so just tell people who you are.
Absolutely. I'm Roz McNorton. I am a financial consultant. I have been in business primarily in the banking field for about, I'm not going to even say, a couple of decades or more. I am so excited to be here. And tonight, I just want, and every day going forward, I just want to make sure that people understand who we are as women. And most of all, I like to live in the moment. I really embrace every single day and try to make the best of it. And let's go. Ready?
I love it. Next, you guys, I'm going to introduce to you Haith. And Haith, how are you this evening?
Super amazing. Glad to be in the room with so many amazing women. I am so excited about the conversation tonight. So let's get into it. Okay, a little bit about myself. I've been in the beauty industry for over 35 years. Even though it looks like I'm 21 years old, I've been around the whole wide world, being able to service such clients like Yolanda Adam, CeCe Winans, Mary, and so many more. But I am excited mostly because we have hair care products that really work. Stop breaking. Respect the crowns of Black women. Okay, it promotes hair growth and all of that wonderful stuff. And we're located in over 300 Walmarts in 25 states across the country. We then was approached again by Walmart asking us to put our wigs inside of Walmart as a franchise store. So we launched our very first store May 1st. So excited about all that's opportunity that's been accepted. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. And last but not least, we have Dr. Spinelli out of New York. How are you?
I am perfect. And how are you guys? It's so good to see everybody. It's wonderful to be on this show. I am very happy to be in the midst of such profound, professional, exciting, energetic women.
Well, thank you so much. And already, ladies, we've got Anissa Cook, who says she's loving the energy of the panel, and she was telling us we better bring it tonight. So, ladies, of course, before we get started, we want to make sure that we bring in conversations about what's happening next. So we're going to go to a quick commercial, and both will be right back.
Día que me falte tu piel, ¿qué será? ¿Qué será de mí? No seas parte de mi amanecer.
Okay, ladies, let's get started. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm going to ask each of you, what are your thoughts around the multiple data points and conversations regarding Black men dating outside of their race as a first option? And so, Precious, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, right now, honestly, I'm 43 years old. And again, as I said, I'm always single as a dollar bill. And being a professional woman, you know, I hear it a lot. Hey, this is what the first baby mama looks like. And when they get money, when some of these men get money, she looks so different. Well, I'd rather date her. I love her hair. I love the way her skin color looks. And it's like, but I'm here too. And I've worked very hard to get to where I am, and I can support, be a helpmate, and all other kind of things. But I'm not even looked at or considered a prize, and that's a problem for me, right? I'm not opposed to Black men, you know, dating interracially. Just don't spit on me to get to a certain place, because when you do that, I'm going to look you in the eye, and I have no problem with her, but I got a problem with you. And I think
I like what you just said. I really like it, because the thing is, I think a lot of times they think we have a problem with them, and it's not. We're looking at him because we're concerned about his choices or questions. So the thing is, Kevin Samuels, if you guys don't know him, he has a podcast where he says a couple of outrageous things, but consistently, it seems like his comments are very degrading towards Black women. And he has said on several shows that high value Black men do not want to be with Black women. They choose to date white women or women of other races. And so, you know, I'm going to talk to you. Like, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, because you're in that world with celebrities, and you're in a private moment with them. But what are your thoughts around that? Why they make a decision once they start making, you know, pretty good money, they choose not to look at us as an option?
Well, one thing is, the first thing that came to my mind was that stigma of back in slavery. Okay. And it's almost like white women were upheld as the trophy, you know, and that was the, not saying that it's true or that's what I believe. I just believe that's the story or the narrative that has been told. And some Black men buy into it, especially when they do become successful. Now, and let me make a disclaimer. Not all Black men, I believe, think like this. I believe it's a mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sometimes there's an empty place in him, and he feels like this color of her skin, because not only will he pick a white woman, but some men pick light-skinned women over dark-skinned women. So it's not just that. I mean, you know, so it's the mindset of that man. So,
and I'll agree. I'm going to agree with you 100%. I used to have people interested in me, not because of me, but they just wanted to make sure they had light babies because they were light. And so I had to tell people, I'm sorry, I can't have any children. Well, then I was discarded. You know, it was just like, well, you're of no use to me. Well, obviously, you really weren't genuinely, you know, interested in me. And that's a definite concern. So we have Charles Thomas, who did a shout out to us. Hey, what's going on, Thomas? Thank you for joining us. We love to have our Black men join us, because this is a real conversation, and feel free to give more comments. So
I love the emoji, the thinking emoji.
Right.
I agree, but I'm
on that. I got to reflect.
Right. So, you know what? So, Dr. Spinelli, what's your thoughts on that?
See, I come from a whole different perspective. I just think everybody ought to have whoever they want to have, irregardless of race, And I'm probably saying that because I'm married to an Italian stallion. I'm just saying. And I'm happier than I've ever been in my life. However, I did try it 3 other times, and they were black men, and God bless all of them.
Right.
But as you said, hey, he keeps me on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Kind of like back on the plantation, if you want to say, I am the princess, and I'm darn happy. So I just think everybody ought to have whoever they want to have, irregardless of race.
Yeah.
Okay, so just I think because we made that comment, you know, Charles came back and said, "Hello, ladies."
But Christina, can I agree with Dr. LaTanya? Because you know what?
Yeah.
When you find love, genuine, authentic love is really colorless. And so my thing is, if there is not a motive of I have to have this particular woman,
right,
then you know what I'm saying, then that's when I kind of go, well, you know what, there's a brokenness maybe in him, him.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. And
I'm going to tell you, so Anissa did hashtag Italian Stallion. So
come on, Italian Stallion.
and so just to let you guys know who are joining us late, our topic tonight is Dear Black Man, what's stopping you from loving me, looking for love in other races? And so that's what our topic is tonight. So, you know, Roz, I'm going to ask you.
I can't wait to hear what Roz
in the finance world. And I know men, because honey, you're hot. We're just gonna be clear. Roz is hot. Yeah. So Roz, you're in the finance world. I know those guys are throwing themselves at you. So I know black, white, all of them, right?
Not so much, but I know have a different perspective. No, not so much. I kind of like my meat cook. Sorry. Sorry. I mean, not to be bold or, you know, or mean about it, but I just like black men. However, I've raised a black son, and you know, he was raised in a primarily white community, and so he only dates Caucasian women. Wow. And here's the type: they're blonde hair, blue eyes, and it took me a while to really embrace that because I felt like I had done something wrong. And I'm just being very transparent here in a nervous kind of way, but just honest. It took me a while to really understand his perspective. But when he was maybe 12 or so, mothers of the Caucasian friends would call me and say, can my daughter have a play date with your son? And back then it didn't matter. I was like, oh yeah, please take him to the movies, take him anywhere.
Just get him out the house.
Exactly. Just bring him home safely. But then he, you know, went on to attend college with primarily Caucasian people. And so now there's no turning back. And I asked him, you know, what's going on here, you know? And he said, you know, I learned very early on that black women are difficult. And so that's what he
say. What did he say?
They're difficult. They're hard to deal with.
Black women
are difficult. Yes. And I don't know that he has the right perspective, but it's his perspective. So I respect that. And I'm just, you know, now I'm okay with it. You know, I'm like, okay, well, and there's no more to talk about. You know, there's nothing else I can say. He's 31. Like, what? Yeah. And he's like, you know, Mom, your mother is mulatto. You know, your mom, your mom's mom is white. So what's wrong? And so I really had to embrace my son and just really be okay with it. And so now, for me, I'm actually more open-minded as a result of it. I mean, my child had to teach me how to treat him and how to respect his choices.
Yeah.
Roz, I'm going to say thank you because I have a son and he's my only child. And he thinks that he says, Mom, I'm dating people that looks like you. They always end up Latino. So I don't know why I'm giving him that Latino feel. I don't know what's happening. But he dates women who are Latino, and I don't even know what to say about that. You know, it's just kind of disconcerting. Okay, well, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And just to make sure, I want to make sure everybody knows who you're talking to. These are the ladies on the 5 F's to Love, Real Talk.
Ricky Baker. Ella sabe que con quien está hablando tú me conoces más. No juegues, no. Ella sabe que yo no estoy jugando, quiero algo más, no solo sexo. ¿Cómo que no fue? Si yo recuerdo que fue ayer, un par de tragos después pa'l cuarto, lo hicimos hasta el amanecer. ¿Cómo que no fue? Sé que te acuerdas lo que te dije, que de tus...
Okay, I'm going to take that back. I think I know why. I do a lot of Latino, and the first language my son was speaking was Spanish. Okay, I'm going to take it back.
There,
Now I get
there
it.
you go.
Okay, I think it might be me.
Mystery solved.
Right, mystery solved. Okay, Charles is diving in on us. And by the way, Charles is surprised me. He says, "Oh wow, well, my perspective. I feel that it is the upbringing of the man. Spoiled men usually gear towards a woman he can dominate in his perspective." And now he put in parentheses white. If a man is raised with a strong family upbringing, he is just looking for a strong woman that will respect him in their family. You know what? Thank you, Charles. And I'm going to tell you, Charles is one of those good guys. He treats his wife like the Queen of England. And I will tell you that because I know him personally. And when they got married, I just thought it was the most amazing thing because that was his second marriage. And when I tell you, they're like this. They love each other. They support one another. And just to let you know, he's one of the hottest DJs in Detroit.
Okay.
Before a DJ can put that spin on it, I just want to say that's the DJ you need to be calling because he puts it down. I'm just telling you.
What's his DJ name?
Hey, Charles, tell him what your name is. Put it in chat so I can do your little infomercial in chat for me so I can post it for him.
Hilarious. But that's a good point that he brings up.
Yeah.
If a man sees a woman as too much of a challenge,
yeah,
then that might be quite a bit intimidating, and he'll take an easier road if it's not so much pushback.
That's the thing. We heard that it was the path of least resistance. So here, I just want to say he put in there, I call him DJ Bass. He put the mixologist in there. I knew he was going to do a whole promo. But if you ask around town, it's DJ Bass, and he put the mixologist. He's the and he really is. He has these awesome YouTube videos, and he does a lot of stuff on Facebook Live. Thanks, Charles, for joining us. I'm going to tell you, he's 100% correct in a perspective about what men think, because on Real Talk with the Men, they all agree they like the path of least resistance. They made it very clear, and these are just everyday guys. So you think about a man who has money, and his attitude is far beyond that. His attitude is you shouldn't say anything but yes. So I don't want a conversation about whatever we're talking about. I'm expecting a yes. So that lends to our next question. Why do you think Black men are making the decision to date and marry women from other races? This is like right in the midst of what we're talking about. Do you think it's just the path of least resistance? What do you think it is?
Forbidden fruit.
I
like that,
Roz.
I like that, Roz.
I agree with Roz.
Chyia, what do you think it is?
I think that it is when I think of people say they prefer this woman, I think it really goes to their personality and their behavior. I am a strong believer in it ain't my issue. It is not my issue. If you prefer white women over Black women, that's not my issue. And the fact that you chose that, every pro doesn't have to have a con. You know, if you date outside your race, then date outside your race. Don't justify it just because, okay, I'm dating outside my race. This is because Black women are X, Y, and Z, or this.
I agree.
Right.
If that's your choice, stand by your choice. Why does it have to be a con with your pro? Like, that's the thing that gets me. It's like, it's not my issue, and I'm not going to change who I am or, deviate from the person I am just because you're intimidated. Because there's a difference between me being intimidated, and you being intimidated. Like, I'm okay with me. And if you have a problem with me, it's you, not me. I can't feed into, your shortcomings.
I like that. Precious, what's your thought?
I think she's muted.
You're on mute, Precious.
Yeah.
I was gonna
There you
say
go.
I definitely agree with Chyia and all of our queens tonight. But here's the thing. So I grew up with a light-skinned sister with green eyes. So I was always in the background, right? I'm chocolate. Nobody wanted me. And as much as I love what Chyia is saying, like there are some of us who would never get any shine. Like when you're chocolate in a sea of everyone who the preference and all of that kind of stuff, like, am I supposed to die alone? Because I am not light skinned, green eyes, or I don't have mixed features or anything like that.
Right.
You know, people put things on chocolate women that they wouldn't put on other women. Oh, I'm aggressive. You've never even met me to know if I'm aggressive.
Right.
You've never even talked to me to know if I'm all those things. And it's taken me until my 40s to really accept I'm beautiful. Whether you think or not is irrelevant to this story.
Yes,
But I finally love me. And I've made peace with me and my sister. I love her. She's gorgeous. She's beautiful. But girl, Beyonce in the house. So,
Okay. But Precious, the thing is,
you bad.
Okay,
And so
Hey,
what
what
I
are you
was
saying?
saying?
no, I was saying I was agreeing with Precious, but the sadness of the brokenness within our culture is, I hate that we do that. I hate that we put this. I was in a museum and I seen this picture of this young lady and she had a brown paper bag up near her face, and it was almost like she was acceptable because her complexion was the color of the paper bag. But what you don't know, Precious, is so many women look. I so admire brown, deep, chocolate. Black women. First of all, the skin, I can scratch your eyes out, okay? Your skin is beautiful. But the point is, I just hate that it's a society narrative that we've brought into.
Yeah.
Love is wonderful. To fall in love and to be loved, it's an awesome opportunity of not only receiving, but yet giving out love. And so to have something so insignificant or shallow of a shade. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, and then I'm done. My husband, no, seriously, because my mindset when I was growing up, now listen to this, Dr. LaTanya. My ideal man was about 6'4", about 250 pounds. I wanted them to look like a football player, right? Deep, dark, blueberry dark. I wanted blackberry dark.
I know what you're gonna say because I know her husband.
Like so everything that I'm saying, how crazy is that? So Roz, I was like you. I wanted dark meat and I wanted my meat cooked, and then flip it over and cook it some more.
Well,
this is the thing. But this is the thing.
That was me.
I went out with those type of men. I was dogged out, disrespected so bad. And again, I do not want to blanket this like all men are like this.
They're not.
But who I fell in love with, Roz, girl, get this. He's 5'7", high yellow, green eyes, and wavy hair. And when I tell you, that was the first time I experienced authentic, real love. And I remember praying and asking God, I said, first of all, he's too cute. I don't even want him because he's too cute. And I remember praying, saying, God, he's too short. And then I'm done. He said, you're shallow.
Yeah,
okay,
he treats you like he's 6'5", right? Or 6'4". He
say that again.
He treats you like he's 6'4".
Oh, you better believe that is my motto. He about 7 feet in the spirit because he can take a devil down.
He makes all of that.
Yeah, and so I learned to love.
Let go of the
pure love. Yeah,
right.
It's pure love, and it was. I can't say it's colorless because it is high yellow, but he finds I don't know what. But he's a good man.
Adorable.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, we want to say thank you to Arnetta, who says great dialogue, ladies. We also have Miss Webster. She said, hey, ladies, loving the conversation, supporting my sister Precious.
Thank you, Camila.
So, I want to say you guys are 100% correct. And being probably the lightest person in this conversation, we're going to do real talk right now. I can't even tan. I don't tan. And that's been one of my biggest things because I get sunburned and it upsets me. I always want to be golden. So I just want to say to some light skins out there, we do want to be a little golden, okay? And we be trying. Like I could go to the tan booth, I could do all that, but I'm not gonna do it, okay? And I'm gonna say to you, I'm one of those people, and I've said it before. I like anybody who's about 6'1", 6'2", and higher. I like them chocolate.
And higher and chocolate.
I like them high because I got to put some heels on. I got to be cute with my heels on. I want to still feel like you're towering over me. You know what I mean? Because something about that height makes me feel like you got control of the situation.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just love it. Exactly. So I'm going to say to you, and that has been a huge drawback. Now, have I dated outside my race? 100%. Have they all been over 6 foot tall? 100%. That's a height requirement. You got to be 6 foot tall to ride this ride. I just want to be clear.
My husband is not what I was looking for. My husband is not what I was looking for. My husband, I thought I was going to marry someone who was already divorced with kids, so I don't have to produce any children. He was going to be about 15 years older than me. He was going to be chocolate and tall and bald and things like that. And then bam, I meet my husband. My husband is 10 years younger than me. My husband is licensed.
Really?
You go, girl.
And
now the tea is getting hot.
Yeah. I didn't know that part later. But
come on, you cougar. Come on, cougar.
He's a newlywed cougar.
Right, newlywed cougar. But if you met us, if you knew us, you wouldn't even he is just like such a so you wouldn't even know the difference or nothing.
Like they were
but I
meant
had
to be
such
together.
a mindset.
Yeah,
I had such a mindset that this is what I wanted, and then bam, knocked down the wall of this is who is presenting to you. This is somebody who is like, I'm claiming you, I want you, I'm about to marry you. So what you gonna do? And I was like, I do.
And you know what? And I think a lot of times you're correct. That's what we have to look at and remove that mindset. But guys, when we talk about, how does that make you feel as a Black woman when you hear multiple men stating Black women are not considered high value assets? How does that make you feel when you're out there? And I mean, I'm going to say this to you, Roz, Precious, and myself, the ladies at the bottom, they're all married. So this is not you guys. Well, you can talk about your friends and how it makes you feel. But Roz, I'm gonna start with you. How does it make you feel?
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
How does it make you feel when you hear multiple men stating Black women are not considered high value assets?
I don't really hear that. I don't really hear that a lot. Maybe in the more professional sense, but I don't hear that a lot in my circle.
Oh my gosh, I hear it way too much because I hang out with a bunch of guys. Precious. I hear a lot.
In many ways, I have to agree with Roz. Men aren't telling me that to my face. And when you're on YouTube, the high value man, he has money, whatever, but got no kind of values. But as a Black woman, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't grow up thinking that Prince Charming was coming. And I always felt like I gotta take care of me because ain't nobody gonna be here. My mother kind of beat in my head, you're ugly, you're stupid, you'll never make it. And yet, when I look over my life, I dated a very famous Hollywood actor. I dated someone who
was it, girl?
So I've dated really,
who was it, Precious?
High value as far as what the world says, but in those moments, I didn't think I was high value.
Still, Precious, I'll never tell you.
What I'm saying is, because the world told me they were high value, I felt less than. And so I went in as a deaf mute. I didn't really want to rock the boat because I didn't think I'd have opportunity.
Right.
I'm that chocolate, and I always say I'm the chocolate girl wonder, the chubby girl wonder, because I had to make a way out of no way. Right. And I didn't want to take that into other relationships. So I had to work on me. And so I know we all come with baggage, but when I hear these brothers who I never meet in real life saying, oh, this is what I want, this is what a high value woman looks like that looks nothing like me, that's a problem for you, son. I got 99 problems, but the cuteness ain't one. So I'm not concerned. You know what I mean? So
one of the things I want to say, ladies, to be totally honest, I don't really care what people think or feel about me. I think I set the tone for what my value is. So if you choose to date other women and you value them in that way, I'm okay with that, because then you weren't the person that we should have been considering in the first place. So I always say to myself, you're removing yourself from the options and opportunities that are out there. So when you think about our next question, what concerns do you guys have when dating outside of your race? And I'm going to start with Dr. Spinelli, because not only did she date, but she married her Italian stallion, as Anissa said, hashtag Italian stallion. So was there any hesitation about you dating outside of your race?
No, and I'll tell you why. I don't have to think about that. I've been married a few times, and I no longer am married to those men because they cheated. And so Black guys that I dated cheated, and I don't think I'm anything anybody ought to be cheating on. And so you don't look for it, but it's there. And I found that consistently throughout. But when I flipped the switch, I started dating people who were into me for me. And there was no sign, not that I was looking, of anyone cheating on me. So it's just that simple. Now intellect is another thing. And I think intellect probably is equal on both sides, except my husband is really exceptional. And so I was dating on the other side. And when I met him, everything stopped. He just happens to be Italian. He's like a brother. He's Italian. And so I just see him as a person.
I know. Okay, Dr. Spinelli, just please tell the story how he put the clamp down on you, how he had you followed. I love that story because that's what made me fall in love with him.
Am I going to need tissue?
So my husband.
I cry easily. Am I going to need tissue?
So go ahead. Tell Dr. Spinelli. Tell him what happened.
He's a former special agent at the FBI, right?
Oh Lord.
And so, I guess he wanted to make sure that I was someone that he didn't want to settle down. That's the thing. And he knew I was just going to be dating until I decided I wanted to settle down. And so when we committed, I just noticed that there was a car. I'm in Chicago, right? He's in New York. And I'm like, but I wasn't doing anything. It's never been confirmed, but I just know. But I just know. Yeah, and that's okay because I didn't have anything to hide,
But I told her, I said he did full black man on her. He said,
I was gonna say that's that stalky love. That's that stalky love.
He said, my baby's in Chicago. I need to make sure it's all up in there. Don't make me come to the south side of Chicago and rough somebody up.
Okay.
He was really saying, I wish you would. The Italian stallion gonna show you what time it is.
I wish you would.
Okay. So, ladies, I just want to say, I think we all want to listen up Wallace. And hello, Wallace. Thank you for joining us. He said, in my personal opinion, dating women over the age of 50, they are brokenhearted based on their past relationship. So it is hard to penetrate their mind and their heart because they don't trust easily and make the man overwork. So to that point, when is it time to give up and try something new?
Well, first of all, that's not all women over 50.
Thank you.
Not all women over 50 are broken little babies or broken little girls. That was that experience with that 50-year-old that he dated. And what I'm learning too is sometimes we try to date people that we're not compatible with, but we want to make it work. And so we keep on trying to make a square peg go into a circle. And it's just not a good fit. And sometimes it's okay to release if that person is not in your capacity. I feel like this. Sometimes we have as I heard someone great said, I have a gallon capacity to love, but you keep fooling around with pint-sized givers. And so you have to make sure that the person who you want to date or be with not only can give love, but also receive love. A lot of us all of us have had bad relationships in the past. That's why we're smarter today if we took them as learned lessons. So if you don't learn the lesson, you'll just repeat the lesson. It's a lesson returned if it's not a lesson learned. And so my thing is that was his experience. That's not all 50-year-olds. But to your point, Christina, of how do I make that? How do I feel about when Black men say that Black women are not a trophy or added value? Is sad.
Yeah,
it is.
It's very sad. And I think that again goes back to a mindset that some people have played in to the narrative of society.
I want to be clear. This is my attitude to all of those. You came from a black vagina.
Yes.
You came from a black vagina, and you're going to act like I'm not of value. On that note, we're going to commercial. Okay, I want to say welcome to everyone watching us overseas. I really appreciate your support. All of my people over in Morocco, Bangladesh, China, Australia, and the rest of you, thank you, Somalia. I really appreciate you guys chiming in and watching the 5Fs to Love. Now, when we're talking about compatibility, you guys already know. You're going to see the commercial at the end, but you can always download the app 5Fs to Love, available now on Google and iOS, which is Apple Store. Okay, thank you for that short commercial. So I just want to say real talk around this whole thing. As a woman, and because I've been so drawn to my black men, and I'm like Roz, and I'm like, Haith, and I'm like you, Precious. We all wanted that, Chyia with you. I would have went for a little bald man too. I'm good with that. But at this point, my only requirement is two things. Well, three things. I got three things.
Lord.
Y'all already know what number one is. One, you got to have some money on the books.
Okay.
Money on the books. You got to be bringing that money. Because at 50, I can't do a pull up. It's too late for that. I can't do a pull up. That's number one. Number two, your penis has got to work. That's number two. We already know those are my requirements. I say them every show. So, men, if you're watching, don't come at me if it's not working. Number three, I need you to be at least 6 foot tall to ride this ride. Okay? Now, the rest of it, you can be any color, denomination. I'm open. But it's just those things right there. Okay, so listen. This is 2-minute round. Share how you would express to your spouse, the person you're dating, how much you love them. You got 2 minutes. And Roz, I'm starting with you. Roz, what you got?
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Come on, Roz.
I would say if the shoe fits, we can both wear it. I'm gonna love you a couple of forevers. I'm gonna go over and above. I'm very submissive, but only if you deserve it. So it has to be genuine. It has to come from a good place. You have to treat me with respect. I have to be the queen before you can be the king. And we can ride this ride like you. I am in like Bonnie and Clyde, but I do not play when it comes to nonsense. Don't buffalo me at all.
I love that. Okay, so Haith, what about you?
Okay, well, this is the thing. Expressing my interest in studying my spouse, always getting to know who he is. So in other words, me and my husband met in our 20s. Now we're both in our 50s. He's not the same man. So I never stopped studying who he was at 30, his needs at 40, and his needs at 50, because he's always loved me who I am. When he married me, I was 280 pounds. And I lost some weight. Yeah. But he showed me again what love felt like. So because I know what love is, I know how to give real love back to a man. And I believe what Roz says. I am very submissive, but yet I know who I am, and I can submit to someone who I know is a good leader, taking me to a good place.
You know what? And I love that part. Okay, so what about you, Dr. Spinelli? Talk to me.
I perceive his needs, and he does not have to wonder about things. I just handle stuff. He perceives my needs. We both want for nothing. We think each other's thoughts. And that's almost scary sometimes because we're so much alike. And so that's the magic potion for me. That's it.
I love that. Okay, Chyia, don't talk about your love notes, but go ahead. We can talk about that later. Go ahead, Chyia.
Okay. The biggest thing for me is waking up every day knowing I have two people to please, besides Jesus, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. But I have two people on earth to please, and that's myself and that's my husband. And
Mm-hmm.
to focus on what we need day to day, like, is my focus. I'm chipping away what Haith said about, I focus on his love language and his love and what he
Say it
needs
again.
and what makes him happy. And that's my focus, because I know if I put that energy towards him, he's giving it back to me tenfold, like literally, not figuratively. So I'm like, what can I do for him today that makes him great?
Good.
And how can I make him feel amazing walking outside the door? It's for him to conquer this day and take care of our household and all the things.
That's good.
All the extra stuff.
I just want to say, dear black man, in your face.
Understand his love language.
I don't know if you heard me. I said, dear black man, in your face. See, this is what we're talking about. A black woman's love is all inclusive. You know, and that's what I want to say. Dr. Spinelli, honey, Italian stallion, you know they in with us anyways. They like being with black men.
He's just a light-skinned black man.
They like you. So I'm going to tell you right now, it's all inclusive. So Precious, what's your 2 minutes on how you would express your love to your spouse or the person you dating? What's going on?
Well, you know, it's a little bit of that.
Do I need to bring out the bleep bleep? Do I need to bleep you?
No, not at all. I was thinking about that song by Donnie, Cloud 9. And so for me, I write poems. I write love poems.
Oh, wow.
To my man. And so twice a year, I wanted them to have their day. And just like Haith was talking about, over time, you get to know what do they like at this stage of the game, what this stage of the game. You know, if I go places, I'm going to take pictures and send them to you. Yeah, oh, remember you told me about this? Well, I happened to be in that town and I took a picture. And those are things that I love. But you need a whole day, twice a year, it's all about you, because I'm expressing that love. I want you to know that I'm writing poetry about you, whether you know it or not. To my queen Chyia, who sends little love notes. That's something I would do like once a week, but you'll never know the day of, because I want to keep it funky and fresh.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the pitchmaster, and I want to keep. Listen, I got to keep it spicy and let you know. Listen, my love language is quality time and words of affirmation. So I'm gonna be with you in the trenches. I'll be with you at the top. And so for me, I'm more of the. I can't do the theoretical stuff. I have to do the practical, because I want somebody to do that to me and show me that I'm worthy all day, every day. But there are certain days it's all about you. Let me give it to you, because I'm glad you're in my life.
Okay, so that's another dear black man in your face.
And you know what though, Christina? Let me ask you this: do y'all think, ladies, creating a healthy, safe atmosphere for your man to come home and lay his head on your chest and be that safe place?
Yeah.
Because we already know the world is a mean, angry place against black men.
Yes.
And I think being a master of listening, or mastering the gift and the art of listening and hearing even what he's not saying, and being nurturing, not mother nurturing, because ain't nothing like we're not talking that nurturing, but we're talking about nurturing to him who he is as a man.
Right.
I think that's definitely a priority, and I can only say this from my perspective.
Yes.
I was in a relationship where,
and he can tell me.
I was in a relationship where I gave a person all that I could give, which is what you were talking about, Haith.
Yeah.
And still right now to this moment, this person still has this thing over me that if he called me right now, I kid you not, I would relocate. My love for that person is just that
in love.
Oh yeah, seriously. And the guy knows it. He knows it. And when I tell you, he would call me from the time we would go to bed together. We would wake up together on the phone talking. I would go with him to work. I would listen to everything and anything that was going on. I would make sure I had food delivered to his job, even though we were in different states. I went over and beyond. But guess what happened? I did all of that and also told him, you're my priority. I will move my company and everything to where you are, because that's how much I love you. I will leave my home that's paid for. Okay, don't play with me. I live a good life. I was willing to give all of that up. And you know what he said? He went with somebody he said that he could have sex with on a regular basis that was in the state that he was in. Do you know how much that broke my heart? That was very heartbreaking. But
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel like I want to get on a plane and slash a tire. What you think? I want to go full blackish on him. Okay, so Charmaine, I'm gonna come right back to you, right? Charmaine, honey, she's been waiting such a long time. She says she's loving the conversation. She says, how do you all feel about men asking women what can they bring to the table when dating? What do you guys feel about that? Charmaine, great question.
I am the table.
Okay. I want to know, Roz, what would you say? What would you say, Roz?
I would want to know everything, no secrets,
No. What would you think about him saying, what do you bring to the table?
Dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You name it.
You said breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what you bring into the table?
And dessert.
And dessert? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you what I think.
I know, because you can't wait.
If they have to ask what can they bring to the table, they may not need to be at the table. In my
yeah. Yeah.
It should be understood.
Okay, so Precious, where are you at? If somebody says, what are you bringing to the table? What do you say?
I remember the deceased actor asked me that like in the first few dates that we had. And
Who is it?
Like Chyia, we ain't talking about that. We ain't going to that.
Who is it?
Yes, who?
And it said me, he said women always say that. And now, I mean, it's years later, it's like 10 years later. And first of all, I'm not gonna answer that question because you haven't like what Queen Dr. Latonya just said. You asking me what I'm bringing to the table. What are you bringing? Like we even gotten to that part to even answer that kind of question. Do I like you? Do we got chemistry? All that kind of stuff. Because you asking me the kind of questions like, I mean, we take care of each other. We doing things. Because so you want to ask this question and have me sitting up here stumped. Are you the tables I sit at? Can you come and sit at those tables? Are you ready for the kind of fire that I bring? No, please get out of here with that.
I think a lot of times when people ask that question, it's like they're trying to basically define who they are in that moment. And a lot of people ask me that. They always say, what do you bring to the table? And you know what I say to them? If you don't hear the noise happening behind me, then you shouldn't be sitting here. Because I'm bringing the noise, honey. I'm bringing the music. Right here, the full melody. Okay? I got an orchestra happening back here. And they said, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm such a dynamic woman. You don't have to figure out what I bring to the table. When I come to the table, you
that is
know who I am.
good.
Yeah.
So
That is good. Okay, wait a minute, Christina. You just tapped into something. You just because you provoked the thought that when my husband Roz, when he wanted to date me, okay, I was in a major car accident and I had broken my pelvis. My bone, my side. So anyway, long story short, my best friend was coming to pick me up from the hospital, and we were just dating. We were just getting to know each other. Long story short, she said, "No, I'll go get her." He says, "No, she's worth going to get."
See?
I'll go get her.
Know what you brought to the table.
And that's the point that I wanted to know.
Yeah.
The man that's for you, he sees what you bring to the table. So if you gotta ask me, you're not the one. You're not the one who sees.
Well, hey, when you ask a question about when a man comes home, you can put his head on the shoulder, it's a safe space.
Yeah.
Well, for some of us, we've never been able to have that with the man that we were with, right?
Correct.
Or any of the relationships that we've had.
I hear you.
So to provide something that hasn't been provided. Yes, I know a lot of us sisters are loving and kind, but I don't even have that, right? So, and this is not about me being chocolate, full figure D, but it just goes back to a question that the gentleman had asked. Like at a certain age, I used to say, I understand why men date women who are younger. Their hearts haven't been broken. They haven't had the experience of fighting their way out of dark situations. And it does put something over your heart. You don't think you can love again or whatever. And there may be another man who comes along that's just like, I'm willing to fight in the trenches because you're worth it. I can tell you, hey, the last man that I dated, I still think the world of him. I think the world of him. But when I realized I wasn't a priority,
Mm.
and that, hey, we don't have to talk every day, but we started off like that. And I was like, you know what? I need to remove myself because this ain't gonna work. You can't be just a shining star, and I'm just gonna stand beside you because I came from a dark situation. I want to stand beside you, and if I need to fall back, I need you to lead. But you don't even see me as worthy of coming to see me when I've had surgery. You don't see me, and I remember telling Mr. Christine, and I said, it hasn't made me hate brothers at all. We just are incompatible, and that's okay. Let me fall back for the person that does see the value in me, and I'm gonna keep working on me, so that I hope they're working on them. But if you're gonna come home and have this piece and this thing, why do I still feel like I got to do all the work?
And on that, one, thank you for doing again about compatibility. That's another shout out as to why you should download my app. And now we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we're going to play the 5 F's to Love card game.
I welcome you to My Shy Life. I'm Chyia Perkins, brand creator, author, and lifestyle coach. My mission is to share solutions on how to successfully exist across all relationships, romantic, social, platonic, and professional. I offer lifestyle and dating coaching services, provide personal development skills that will inspire and empower. Pick up a copy of my book, How to Date a Dime, a dating guide for men who want to date their own perfect 10. You will find that my book brings a fresh approach to the art of relationship building, armed with intuitive wit, proven lifestyle tools, and the ability to guide individuals into a reality of what it takes to find a perfect mate confidently and effectively. Visit my website, myshylife.com, and order your copy today.
Okay, well, welcome back. We're now going to play the 5 F's to Love card game. So during this session, each ladies, you're going to have 1 minute to answer the question, and then we're going to go on to the next question. So our first. So question number 1 is, how often do you think of things that will give or do to your partner that will make them feel happy and appreciated? So that is the question. You got 1 minute to answer, and so I'm going to start with you, Chyia. This should be an easy one for you. Okay, Chyia? Okay, so then we're going to start with you, Haith.
Okay, say the question again. I think I'm a little lost.
Oh, no problem. It says, how often do you think of things to give or do for your partner or significant other that will make them feel happy or feel appreciated?
Got it. All day, every day. I do. Seriously. All day. I love him to the point that I'll trust him when he says, hey, your tone was a little, because we're in business together. Okay. So that means that I'm the CEO of the company. He's the COO of the company. And so sometimes I don't realize what hat I'm wearing, okay? And I can say, hey, you know what, did such and such call? And he'll say, well, that was a little aggressive. Or that, well, why'd you have to say it like that? You know, whatever the case is. And I'll say, oh, darling, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I said it like that. Let me pull that back and say, did such and such call? So all day, I'm always thinking of a way.
But what is one thing that you do? Tell me one thing that you do just to make him feel happy or appreciated.
Have sex with him.
Okay, that's a good answer. Roz, what would you do? What's one thing that you would do?
I'm into see, touch, and feel. So one thing that I don't want to be notorious for it, but one thing that I've done that really was great is warm a bathtub.
Okay, I love that. All right, Precious, keep it rated R. What would you do?
R. PG.
I'm the type that I'd love to just call and say, hey, I'm thinking of you, stare at you. And here's something I love to do if there's something that he has said and I happen to be somewhere, I love to take a picture and say, hey, I know you said this about a year ago, but I'm here. And I took this picture. Oh, you remember? Of course I do. I take attendance like a classroom.
Oh,
You
Lord.
are
Okay,
my
that's
cousin.
beautiful. All right. So, Dr. Spinelli, what do you do?
If we both are working from home, I'll just slip in front of him and say, "I told you I love you today," and kiss him for no reason at all. If we're separate, I'm in one city, another place, I'm like you, Precious. I'm snapping and sending. I'm thinking about you. So
All
it just,
day.
I love that.
all the time, all day long.
I love that. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, here's a Okay, so the question is, what would you do if you had sex with your partner or significant other and it was not satisfying? Would you tell them or would you just let it go?
That's so easy.
Okay, Haith, what would you do?
You tell them.
Okay, Roz.
Try again.
Okay, Precious. Precious.
I would say it delicately, but if we're both tired, we already know what the problem is.
Okay.
Sleep.
Okay, Dr. Spinelli.
So before it's over, just let's try to shift this and let's just try.
Is that our answer? Are we gonna try to shift it?
How about you, Christine? What's your answer?
Thank you, Roz. I sure was just thinking, and Christina, what would be your answer?
Okay, Chyia, what would you do if sex was not pleasurable to you? Would you let him know or would you just let it go?
Oh, I would let him know. We would have diagrams
Thank you.
and teachings and workshops.
She said workshops.
Retreats.
I got a dream now.
We would try everything, and we would try it all. Everything. No
Good answer.
stone unturned.
I'm gonna be honest with you, real talk. I tell people, this is what I do, and it's probably horrible, but I just basically go, listen, I'm gonna tap out. Tonight must not be our night. Let's try to redo this on another night, and then I'm gonna text you what I want so we can be prepared for the next session. Right? I'm gonna text you what I want. That means if he need to watch the video or something, because to me, I'm the kind of person, I'm very submissive and I love hard, like sexually, because that's my thing. I'm gonna be honest, I just love having sex. I think it's like the best way to
can
bond.
we get a buck up in these streets? Of course, yes.
Yes, I think it's the best way to bond with your partner.
Yes.
To really shed and share who you are. So my thing is, what we doing? I don't know what's happening. Okay, here's our next question. Okay, if you could have one question asked or answer in the with your spouse or significant other, you have 1 minute. What would you ask them? And you wanted them to answer it truthfully. What would you ask them?
I already know everything.
Okay.
I guess my question is like twofold, but are you happy to have me on your arm? Do you think I'm beautiful, or is this just something you say?
Okay.
Okay, Roz, what would you ask?
Probably along the lines of Precious. You know, what do you love about me?
Okay, that's a good one. Okay, Dr. Spinelli.
Am I the first woman you ever truly loved? And is it black don't crack?
You know what? I can't take it. Why?
You know what? Y'all keep it spicy. Y'all know I like spicy.
Really? That's just, she went totally old school. Okay, so Chyia, what is one question you want to ask my buddy over there?
Christine, you know I am very communicative. I ask
I know.
whatever I want. So,
Mhm.
I'm an open book. He knows everything. I think my main thing is asking him what makes him happy. Like what is missing. Like I always try to check in. Like what's up? What's
Where we at?
good?
Yeah.
Are we happy? You like this chicken I made? Like I check in about it. I don't have no questions.
I like that.
Myself because I'm an open, blunt book, and I just ask them whatever comes to mind, or if I have an issue, I just say it blunt.
You know what? And I'll say this. I think that's like the key for me. I think I'm just very transparent. I'm one of those people. My son says, "Mom, you love real hard." That's the reason why I'm very skeptical about loving people, because when I'm with you, and that means whatever it takes to make you happy. I want to ensure you're successful, all of those things. But more importantly, the question I always like to ask people on a consistent basis: does your dick get hard every time you see me? I need to know that. I don't care if you like me. I just need to know, does your dick get hard whenever you see me? Okay? That means I am still fire, because I always tell them my nipples are hard every time I see you. Okay? I need to know what's happening on your end. So all of y'all being cute, but I'm doing real talk. I don't care.
You know what, Queen? You made me want to ask a question. Is my head game popping? Is it popping? Is my head game popping? Because it needs to be
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I need to know.
Listen, if I need some instruction, holler at your girl, because I pride myself on is my head game.
Do I need to take a class?
Because I ain't going to stay out no. What we doing? I need classes. Chyia, classes. Workshops. What we doing? Because my head game got to be right.
See, I know y'all being off because y'all married and y'all that kind of stuff, y'all being adorable, but I need to know, like, I'm going to tell you one thing an older woman said to me in church, and it was so funny, and I don't know why she said this to me. We sit in the back of the church, and she said, you know what? Every morning he still give it to me. What? Y'all in your 80s. It looked like he was not. She said he still.
You need to tell somebody.
Listen.
Tell somebody.
Come on.
She needed to tell somebody.
She
needed to tell somebody.
She need to
Okay.
tell somebody, because he racking it up. So my thing is, I always want to know, am I still making it happen for you? Really, that's real talk for me. I don't want to know nothing else but that. Because if I'm still like, let me tell you something. Men are very visual people. They're all about the sex and the food and what you look like. And my thing is, all of that equals, is your dick hard every time you see me? Because if it's not, then to your point, Precious, what am I not doing to make it magic when you see me?
But what does that have to do with you? If he has
everything to do with him.
Okay.
It's everything to do with him. Because I'm gonna say to you, because the bottom line is, I need to know what's not happening on your end. What's not?
You just want to make sure it works. That's your thing. Your thing is,
it's gotta work. Okay?
Is it working? Okay.
We're gonna keep it real.
Ooh, that's a lot of pressure, Christine. At first it gotta work, and it gotta be geez. You are.
But you know what? Hey, have y'all ever been in a situation? I know some of y'all were married, but this is a question I've always wanted to ask other women, because we're in that space.
Yeah.
When if you see a package that just doesn't quite have length and curves, like, do you just say, I'm exiting stage left now? Do I delicately do this, or do I have a chick call me and say, hey, it's emergency? My auntie in the hospital, like, or my grandma's been dead 21 years. I'm like, my grandma in the hospital, I got to go. I thought she was, no. Yes. I got another one. I'm out. I can't do. I'm a full-figure diva. If we ain't got nothing to work with, average is cool. Anything below, I can't have that right now. I can't do
questions. Are you asking us to polling because I leave? I don't know what's happening. I'm walking out.
Like when you're 22, like, oh, we can work. No, we can't work nothing. I'm out. I'm just saying, y'all married.
I don't know. Are you asking the single ladies or the married ladies? Because they are.
Listen, let me say with the single, because I don't want nobody having ear shit.
Oh, okay, Ross, are you leaving or staying? Are you leaving or staying?
It depends on the circumstance. We might have to get some toys or something if need be. If he said that to me, I mean,
No,
you
ma'am,
know,
I'm not dealing with that.
because at the end of the
There's so much
day,
stuff
if you
out there.
really are in love with someone, you will try to make it work.
Okay.
And
I
if
just want to
you
raise
just
my
put
hand
off
to
the-
that. Roz, I love you. I do. I think
do too.
you're open to toys, but the only toy I like that makes me happy is that penis attached to that man. I don't do toys. I need that.
But what happens?
That's
What
all
happens,
the toy.
Christina? So let's talk about real life. Real
Right.
life happens.
Yeah.
Things
Yes.
happen to men.
Right.
Things happen to women. I have a good
That's true.
friend in the
Mhm.
beauty industry,
Yeah.
and he's amazing. Been with
Right.
his wife now for 28 years.
Yeah.
She had a major stroke,
Right.
and now she's paralyzed.
Right.
And and she was even to the point that, hey, look, you know, if you want to, because I respect that you have needs and, you know, whatever. He said, I would never do that because I love you. I'm giving myself to you. So my thing is, have that messed us up as women,
Right.
having a false reality? Because listen, not all the time sex is great.
Right.
Not all the
It's not.
time we're in the best of moods.
Mhm.
Life happens to us all. And so have we forfeited real love for shallow things like do your penis work? Because what if one day it doesn't? No, but what if one day it doesn't?
Okay, but you know what, Haith, I'm gonna be real with you. I dated somebody who penis stopped working.
I think that's why we are
Okay,
where we
no.
are now, Christina.
No, but this is real talk. This is so for real.
He
I would
wounded you. Christina,
No.
lift your hands up and I'm going to pray because
No,
he
I'm gonna
wounded
tell
you.
you. Hey, honestly, I would have stayed with him. He was such a loving, caring man. We had so much in common. Absolutely adored him. I mean, to the end. Absolutely. He made a decision because he felt like he tried a couple things and
I
it
get
didn't
it.
work. Even
I
though I
got
was
it.
in support. I was in support. But let me tell you something.
It was
I got it.
I spent a good majority of my prime time
Mhm.
going to school. After that, I raised my son. And I just kind of feel like when I finally get married, I'm gonna need a good 5 years of good sex, and then after that, we good. That'll be my 50. That'll be
There
for my
you
50.
go.
And then I'm honest with you.
5 years.
At 5 years, I need a good 5 years because I'm 50. So at 55, I'm good and we can hit that mark, right? This is what I'm telling you. This is my rule of thumb. If I can't sit on a bench next to you and just like you,
Mhm.
then I don't want to be with you. So I'm not going to say I'm shallow, but I will say to you right now what my major issue is. Brothers keep coming and they keep asking me, well, who are you and what is this? When we get down to the romance and your stuff don't work, you don't want me to judge you, but you judge me.
Mhm.
See, that's where I got a problem. So at 50, just tell me it don't work. And then I'm going to love you for where you at. But don't try to pump me up talking about all what you can do and all of the magic that's happening. And when it comes to the magic moment, I'm like, I'm sorry. What is happening?
No deliverables.
No deliverables.
And then look, I can't say nothing because I'm wrong as a black woman.
Christina, I'm thinking that some of the guys that you're in company with are just some kind of, I don't know, sis.
But hey, isn't there a difference between you already in a relationship with someone and things happen? Because listen, I'm not who I was.
It does. It happens. It happens.
But I'm talking about initially, like there are certain things I already know. This right here, let me and sometimes you don't even want a relationship. Maybe it's just a situationship. So you're like, but I don't even want for a situationship. Things have got to work, and I'm gonna need there to be something there and not micro, because there's nothing I can do with that. You can get all the toys in the world, man. I'm trying to figure out that toy you got. That third, if that's not okay, I can't.
But you know what, Haith? I'm going to say in my world, I kid you not, God has really looked out for me outside of that one situation.
Yeah.
Everybody has met my standards.
She said the Lord looked out for her.
God,
But you know what, Christina?
no.
Can I tell you what
Hallelujah.
this is just my perspective, and I'm just one person
Yes.
off of this phenomenal platform.
I
But
cannot.
I believe because of your accomplishment and your
Yeah.
beauty, you
Mhm.
intimidate a lot of men.
Yeah.
I think I do. That's so
Yeah,
good.
but that's not your fault. That's you owe no one an
It's not her
apology
fault. It's
for
not
being
her fault.
successful.
Mhm.
And never should you apologize nor dumb it down.
No.
You are who you are. And my thing is, I think that you've intimidated some men to kind of almost, what they've done is, some of them, I don't know, this is just my perspective again. Some of them put it off as if it's something's wrong with you. And since it's nothing, it's nothing wrong with you, they can't measure up to.
Yeah.
And so asking even a question, what are you bringing to the table? It goes back to, first of all, if you don't see who's at the table, maybe you should go ahead and dismiss yourself. Yeah, because you're beauty and you're talented and you're gifted, and you should live it unapologetically.
That's true.
Can you do my intro when I go on stage? Oh my God, that was amazing. I need you to do my intro. And hey, I'm going to say to you, you are so correct. And I think a lot of times that's why I look at you and I look at Dr. Spinelli and I look at Chyia, because all of you guys are amazing. You're extremely successful. And my thing is, if you guys found people to love you in that space of who you are and all you're amazing, then I got a shot. Precious got a shot. Roz has a shot. So you guys can understand, when I was looking at each of you, you guys didn't know I was looking for singles and marrieds and why I was doing what I was doing. And each of you have been married different years and all this. It was a whole theory to this whole thing, a whole rhythm and algorithm to this. But the thing is, you're correct. I think most of my friends, my close friends, are guys.
Yeah.
And so I do have a lot of what they call masculine energy. Well, I don't think it is. I just think I know what I want. I like what I like, and I'm okay with it. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to back down on who I am.
You shouldn't.
But I'm in a space where I'm okay with me. And I think my humor kind of plays a role. But I have a really good friend of mine who's looking for love for me. We won't, because I don't want to mess that up. Please tell him don't watch Dr. Spinelli. Tell my buddy don't watch.
Because what if he comes and he is 5'7", but he loves everything about you, the freckles, the pimples on your face, the nappy hair, the messed up. What are you open? All I'm saying are you open to receive love? And look at Roz's face. Roz, come on now.
So
you 5'7".
Yes.
So, but what if it's the love that you always wanted, the value, someone just loving you, just loving the person who you are, the freckles, the messed up hair, no perm. You didn't get your hair all tight on the side, Miss Precious, and it's all beat it all up. And he said,
and what you say, he's 5'7"?
Yeah, 5'7". And now wait a minute. Now this is the thing, because I do believe I am a strong woman, because I was homeless in my lifetime when I was 16, and that's my testimony of how God has took me from a abandoned home into over 300 Walmarts. That's the miracle in my testimony. So security is very important to me. So now my husband was 5'7", and like I told him, I fell in love with him when we was 20. But I'm staying with him for his money at 50.
What?
Okay? So, but my point is, it's like I don't think he should be in between jobs, not at this age. So I'm not settling there. Now, we're too old for you to be trying to figure something out. But my point, Christina, what if he just came with a great job, loved what you do, loved who you are, loved your figure, loved everything about you? But he's 5'7", and every now and then he take a blue pill.
Okay, so this is what's gonna happen. Number one, you're correct, but he's gonna have to go out and buy me a whole bunch of kitty cat heels to replace my shoe game. That's one. And my shoes aren't cheap. And then if we got to do them blue pills, we just got to time it out and make it work. I'm not opposed. But God knows.
So you're open. So you're open to receiving.
Well, hey,
you're open to receiving.
Hey, are you trying to hook me up with somebody that's 5'7"?
No, not at all. But what I do know, no, I'm not. But what I know is when you're. But you know, Chyia, can you answer to this? I can remember when Henry came into my life, when my spouse came into my life, right? I was so focused in on my career and me being this stylist and my relationship with God for the first time in my life. It was so on point. And I was like, matter of fact, Roz, I didn't even want to date him. Not because he was short. I didn't want nobody else getting me out of this relationship that I finally discovered with God, of him and why he created me and who I was. I thought that was going to be a distraction. And then all of a sudden, it was kind of like every time I prayed, it was like God confirming, saying, no, he's the gift that I'm sending you. So it's like I had to prepare myself and be willing to be loved in this vessel that was high yellow, green eyes, wavy hair, and 5'7". I'm like, but God.
Okay. Hey, I really hope that God is not talking to me right now. Alone said, good conversation. Anita said, come with it, hey. Ain't no time for no potential at this age.
No, man. Ain't no in-between. I'm fixing to. No.
Okay, let me tell y'all. I told you guys this would be the most amazing night ever. And I have so much fun with you guys. You know, we could talk all night, right? And our viewers are hanging in there with us. And I'm going to tell you, hey, again, I hope God is not talking to me right now.
Lift your hands up. Lift your hands up. Receive it.
I got my heart set on something. And I hope but I'm going to tell you, at this point, God also knows that I'm an easygoing person. And at this point, I want what's best for me, because I want this half of my life to be the best part of my life.
Good for you.
I really do.
Yeah.
But I do talk to him every morning. He knows what's on my sticky nose. And by the way, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always say I want to be in a loving, caring, supportive relationship, financially stable, with a man who loves me no matter what, with my business partner. And I go through a whole list. None of it says chocolate. None of it says over 6 foot tall, and none of them says that his penis works. It's not even in there. So what I say every morning has nothing to do with that. I just want to be honest with you. Okay, so what is it? Forevermore.
Yes.
D Lady Love Forevermore. D Lady J Forevermore says, love this panel of strong women. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, I knew our time was going to be run short. And I told you, like, we were going to get hot at the end. I knew this was going to happen, right? Because you guys are rock stars. So the only thing I can say to viewers, be sure to join us next month, where the topic is going to be even hotter. And we're going to really do real talk. And we're going to really sit around and have a real conversation. And I'm going to surprise you about the topic, because we got to keep you coming back to watch us. But I just want to say thank you to each one of you. You're absolutely amazing. I really appreciate you guys joining me on this journey to have real conversations about real issues in our community as it relates to Black women. So thank you so much for lending your excellence, as I all knew that you would. And please tell all of your husbands I said thank you. All right. And so, ladies, I'll see you back in the green room in just a few minutes. And so I want to say to viewers, again, we wanted to have a real conversation with you, and we want to have a real conversation with you once a month. Once a month, you'll see 5 F's to Love, Real Talk with the ladies. We'll have real topics and also real talk with the men. And we're also bringing out some other episodes that you guys can watch related to our LGBT community. And then we're going to have just group conversation, where you'll see a lot of different races having conversations about relationships and the different concerns they have around dating. So our 5 F's to Love brand is growing. And I'm happy to be on this journey with each one of you. So again, I look forward to each one of you joining us next week on the 5 F's to Love.
My name is Christine Burkett, the inventor of the 5 F's to Love. This is a compatibility app. It's an app that gives you an opportunity to rate words that start with the letter F in chronological order of importance to you, to help you find your one true love, your soulmate, and the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So after you've taken the time to rate your F's in chronological order, you send a link to the person, I don't know, you just met, or the person you've been dating for quite some time. Or maybe it's the person you've been married to for 30 to 40 to 50 years. And then you compare your top 5 F's to find out what things you have in common and things that you may perhaps need to work on. This is taking a simplistic perspective on how to find your one true love, your soulmate, the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And thank you for